So first of all, thanks for coming. Just had a really good practice. Just the culture and the development of this team. Just proud of the leadership, the way they come to work, their attitude, the way they come into the building. Just excited and lucky that I get to coach this group every day. The biggest thing that I want to make sure is understood is the captains. So I meet with the captains every Thursday morning, tell them who the weekly captains are. We don't announce our permanent captains until the last game. So every week it's a chance for different guys that are showing great leadership throughout the year, throughout the week and the previous week to step up and lead the team throughout the weekend. And put a lot of responsibility on those guys, and really proud of the captains. And I'll go ahead and read them off. Jamin Brooks, Jalen Camp, David Curry, Jack DeFore led us to that victory, and just proud of that group. The other cool piece that we do is every win, we always take a picture of that group before kickoffs. When they're there getting ready to go out for the coin toss, we take a picture of that group, and after wins, that hangs up on my office wall, and hopefully we just keep stacking them. But every week the captains know if they can lead us to victory, they go up on that wall, and it's a big honor. So just want to show respect for those four. We had two guys, we make a lot of big deal about energy and juice. Two guys that I thought did a great job on the sideline Saturday. Trace Willing, number 3 for us, didn't play, but he was there. He was engaged. He was helping the corners with adjustments, things that he was seeing, and keeping them focused the entire game. And just really proud of him and his contribution. Jordan Yates, I thought he did a great job charting things, helping a true freshman through his first college game, his first college start, and Jordan really helped Jeff play at a high level, so proud of him. Players of the week, I know we released them on social media, but I always want to make sure I take the time to show the respect and to show why they won that award. And special teams wise was Dante Smith, was flying down on kickoff for us, punt return, kickoff return, did some really good things special teams wise, tremendous effort, and then he got some touches late in the game that really helped us. And then on the touchdown pass to Malachi, the key block was Dante Smith. So not only running the football, not only catching it out of the backfield, in protections on special teams, very proud of Dante Smith. Zamari Walton had a huge game. He was out there against a great receiving core and held his own. 4th and 3, game on the line. Andrew Thacker calls, a man blitz. He's out there on an island to the field, makes a play, wins the game for us. And it was just his consistent effort since we've been here, getting better every single day. And then all the things that he's worked on, refining his craft, showed up on Saturday. And the next one, it makes me very proud to say, because I know that this, one of the transformations we had to go through, the biggest piece was the offensive line. And all 5 of those guys played against one of the best defensive fronts in college football at a high level, running the ball, in pass protection. So go ahead and start with Zach Quinney, Jack DeFore, Mikey Minahan, Ryan Johnson, we call him Hoss, and then Jordan Williams getting a start as a true freshman on the offensive line against one of the best defensive lines in college football. Hats off to him, hats off to that entire group, and hats off to Brent Key. And then finally with this is the developmental players of the week. You can see the shirt I'm wearing. We are a 5-star developmental program. We take a lot of pride in it, and making sure these guys every day playing our offense, playing our defense, developing. They lift 4 times a week, where most places when you get into the season everybody just lifts twice. Our ATL lifts 2.5 times a week. Our developmental team lifts 4 times a week. But those guys, Miles Brooks, freshman corner, did a great job last week. Will Schism, a walk-on offensive lineman, and he is just awesome. His contributions every day to this program, energy, juice, work ethic, stays after. He's actually out there right now getting some extra work in. The kid is amazing. And then the special teams developmental player of the week is Michael Breimer. I announced it to the team Sunday night. and he knows that I do this, so he asked me to make sure I get his Twitter handle out there to the public, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's at Michael Brimer, A before E, Brimer, B-R-I-M-E-R, and he's awesome. Great energy, great juice. Obviously, we had some awards nationally, and in the ACC, Presley Harvin, the Ray Guy, top 4 punters in the country, also had 2 tackles in the game. Those were out of necessity with the block kicks, but he still made the tackles. The coordinator of the week was Andrew Thacker. Did a great job playing at a high level of defense. Curtis Ryan's defensive lineman in the ACC, and then Jeff Sims, rookie of the week in the ACC. So just proud of those guys getting the recognition that they deserve. The best moment for me with all of this that was going on, all the recognition, all the social media and all those things that were happening with the earned win that we had, Jalen Askew put out a tweet yesterday, team success equals individual accolades. We talk about that all the time. Making sure you're putting the team first in every single thing that you do, being a great teammate all the time, and then play at a high level collectively. And when you have success, then there's going to be individual recognition that comes from it. And just the recognition from one of our single digits, Jalen Askew, to understand the moment, make sure culturally in our program the messaging gets talked about on social media and in the program. Just really proud of him with that. The Uniswag, I think the awards for Uniswag come out today. I would be hard pressed if the uniform that our players chose isn't recognized, because our players, they're picking out the uniforms this year, and I thought I thought they looked really good. But with that, just want to recognize, obviously, playing against a great football team, a great football program, one of the top 10 programs in the country over the last 3 years. Great coaching staff, great players, great speed, great schemes, and we're well versed in that, and have a tremendous amount of respect for the opponent that we've got coming in. Just want to take the time. It's I had 2 years at UCF, and I was coaching for George O'Leary, so that was really more like 14 years down there coaching for Coach O'Leary. He's going to be at the game this week. He's going to be honored for the Georgia Tech Hall of Fame, so just tremendously blessed that I'm in this position because of George O'Leary. And he means the world to me. He means the world to my family. And, I think it's a perfect time because he had such a great run here, and he had such a great run building that program the right way. And, and the people that are UCF fans, when I say this, they'll know we talk about get your chili hot when I was down there, but I've got a tremendous amount of respect for that place, tremendous amount of respect for the program that is being built there and has been built there, and excited to play a great opponent, nationally ranked opponent on ABC, 3:30 on Saturday. So with that, questions?
Okay, if you could, please use the raise hand function within Zoom if you have a question. We'll call on people individually. And we'll start with Paul Newberry from the Associated Press.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Hey, bud.
Hey, obviously a great win, and so many great things happen. Obviously some mistakes too, which I guess you kind of
Sure.
Expect maybe in a first game. But I'm curious with some of the, the kicking issues and penalties, and other teams had this too around the country. Do you think the kind of weird off season that everybody had contributed to that in any way? And or if not, or what other things might have led to some maybe more problems than usual in a first game for a lot of teams?
Well, so one of the interesting things right away from the beginning was just the electric whistle or electronic whistle, and we use one here, and at times even at practice some of the guys can't hear the whistle, and it was apparent on Saturday too. The first kickoff that we had, our guys are waiting for the referee to blow it into play, and and they're standing there looking at him, and he's so that was an interesting piece that we've just got to keep better. And I think that's, they talked to us about it, but that was different. I talked a lot about the kicking issues yesterday. During this entire preseason and OTAs and all those things, we've been uber sensitive about making sure our protocols are in line. We're doing the right thing with the safety loops, the spacing, the distancing during practice, wearing masks, all of those things. Well, we do, there's certain periods, and PAT field goal is one of them, that a lot of guys at one time in PAT field goal are bunched up together for 5 minutes. And we were looking at that early the first time we did it. Those of you that have been out to practice before, it'll be, we'll get 16 reps in about 4 or 5 minutes. But those reps are all compact. I stopped doing that during preseason camp. We do 1 shot, 2 shot, and get out. So that PAT field goal piece, that was on me. We had a good period Sunday night with it. We had a good period today with it. Still making sure we're doing the right things between the snaps. But you got to practice it, and that was completely on me. And, I told the team that, and, understand that we've got to get better at that piece of it, because we can't, when you're going to score points and that play is specifically designed to score points, you got to make those things count. Hats off to Florida State's defensive line. Again, I said it's one of the best defensive lines in college football, and they played really, really hard with really good players on those plays and got the pressure and got the block. So, hats off to them, but also hats off to our guys regrouping and kicking the game-winning field goal and protecting on the game-winning field goal in the fourth quarter. I thought that was a big moment for us as well. So learning as we go in real time against a really good opponent.
Next question comes from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Jeff. You survived losing several key guys who were major contributors on defense to injuries or whatever for this game, this past game. Can you just talk about, I guess, kind of adjusting on the fly and how your philosophy about the ATL and the way you guys practice kind of allowed you guys to handle maybe some unexpected adversity in that situation?
Yeah, and I think that just goes with the core philosophy in our program, the ATL, the core philosophy in our program, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. The core philosophy in our program, there are no starters. They're just guys that are ready to play and ready to play at a high level. That can fluctuate day to day, week to week. That whole mentality is going to pay off this season, because this season is going to be unlike any other, because there's going to be so many speed bumps. There are going to be so many unforeseen things that you're going to have to adjust to. And the team that can be the most fluid with their roster, the team that can cross-train guys, be innovative, think outside the box, those are going to be the teams that are going to be able to put their teams in good position. And we've got a culture, we've got a philosophy. Our guys do a great job understanding it, believing in it. Our coaches do a great job of explaining the why, building relationships of love and trust. So when situations arise, and they're going to arise every single week, that you've got to be fluid and innovative and creative and figure out the best way, schematically, personnel-based, what you're doing offensively and defensively and special teams based on the roster that you have at the time. And just proud of this coaching staff, proud of these players understanding that, and we've ingrained that since we've been here. And it's hopefully will continue to pay off for us like it did last week. There is one injury. I don't talk about injuries. The only one I will talk about is ones that are season ending. TK Chemedza, he makes sure I pronounce it properly. He'll be out for the season, and just think the absolute world of him. He was playing at a really, really high level. He played at a high level for us at defensive tackle last year. Just got better and better throughout the offseason, throughout the preseason, and just his contributions obviously will be sorely missed. We love him, but just want to make sure that we understand. I don't talk about injuries unless it's something like that, and just want to address that. And I pronounced his name properly, so TK, I love you.
The next question is from Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Hey, Jeff. Going back to special teams, aside from the kicking problems in the beginning of the game, what was your assessment of the overall special teams play, and where are you looking to improve this week?
Sure. We're looking to improve every single week in every phase of our program. Was excited that we had a touchback on Saturday. I think the place went nuts. Our sideline went nuts. The coverage was really good. Just a couple of things with the leverage on the ball. A couple of them, squirted out about 6 or 7 yards further than they should have. But I thought all in all, the coverage team was really good. The kickoff return, they were doing some different things because we didn't know whether to base it on Memphis stuff or base it on Maryland stuff. We watched both, didn't really know what they were going to be doing special teams wise. So those kind of things, you just got to clean up the self-scout, the opponent scout piece of it. But again, they've got really good players. Our guys are getting better every single week playing in space. And, I thought our punt team did good. Presley Harvin, I think he went viral a couple of times, and he's got a strong leg. Again, he made 2 tackles and is a great part of our program with energy and positivity and mindset. And to have somebody that can flip the field and really at the end of the game pin them deep from when we were backed up, I think is really, really good.
Next question is from John Cooper from The Good Word.
Hey, John.
First off, congratulations on a great win and a great week of accolades for the entire program. Obviously, home opener is a big issue this week. It's also emotional because of Coach O'Leary, and obviously you have great ties with him. What would you say is the biggest influence he had on you as a coach? And do you have a favorite or a typical George O'Leary moment?
There's so many. So the question is, do you have a favorite George O'Leary moment? What did he do to impact your career? If anybody didn't hear it, there's so much. One of the biggest things is attention to detail, work ethic, uncovering every stone, making sure that you're looking at the game from every single point of view. Don't take anything for granted in preparation, making sure your players are doing all the little things the right way. And, those are some of the biggest things that he imparted on me is just the work ethic, coming in early, staying late, attention to detail, all of those things. We had my first year as the head coach at Temple, actually had a George O'Leary roast over here in the Georgia Tech Hotel and Conference Center, and I flew down from Philadelphia. Me, Andrew Thacker, flew down here for it, and just special night telling stories. I think I'm going to leave those with that. I got up on stage, and it was my first time that I ever really had to roast George O'Leary, and I was scared to death. So I'll leave those stories at that party. But one of my favorite things that happened, and I'll try not to get emotional, one of my favorite things that happened Saturday night after that game, I got a bunch of texts from a lot of people across the country, but George O'Leary sent me a text and said that he was very proud of me and very proud of how our team played. The effort, the toughness, the physicality, and for somebody that, as a young graduate assistant working for somebody that's had so much success, getting hired full-time, getting promoted full-time here, getting hired again on his staff at a second place, those moments mean a lot. But for George O'Leary to say that he's proud of me, for George O'Leary to respect the way our team plays, that's pretty special. It's pretty cool. Excited to see him, obviously, from a socially distant manner on Saturday. But I don't have enough time to say all the things that he means to me in my career, in my life. So
We have time for a few more for Coach Collins. We'll start with 2 from the AJC. First from Steve Hummer, then we'll have one from Ken Segura.
Hey, Steve.
Hi there, Jeff. Hey, I'm guessing there's no mystery about who your starting quarterback is this weekend. I'm wondering what you learned about Jeff in the short period of a week.
Sure, and again, we don't talk about starters. We talk about above the line guys. But he played really good. Was really proud of him with the supporting cast around him, with the offensive line playing at such a high level. Our receivers did a great job on the perimeter in the passing game and in the running game. With the running backs that we have, he was able to not force it. He even talked about yesterday, he knew he didn't have to be a superhero. He could just execute the offense, play the calls that were being sent in. Dave Patino called a great game, and all of the offensive staff making the adjustments to put him in a position to have success, and the offense to have success. My favorite thing about Jeff Sims, and I said it a couple of times yesterday, doing media things. We practice on Sunday, so we got back at like 3:37 Sunday morning after the game. And we do our Sunday routine, training room check-in, lift, recovery lift, meetings, watch the tape, blah, blah, blah. And we go to meetings. We go out to practice. He was the first one in the building for meetings. Then we blow the horn and we go out to practice. He was the first one out to practice. And those little moments are special, right? This is an entitlement-free program. Everybody is respected. Everybody earns everything that they get. And for him to understand the moment and understand that even though he's getting all these accolades and all this notoriety at such a young age, to still be in the moment and to still understand that he's got to work and he's got to put forth the effort and he's got to put himself in a position as a leader at such a young age, I think that's special. The older guys on the offense, or really the older guys on the team, have helped him navigate. They've helped Jordan Williams navigate this, to be able to understand our culture, understand our program, and even though they're playing a lot at a young age, still understand that even though they didn't go through the pains and the growing pains and some of the heartache and some of the adversity that we faced last year, those lessons and that DNA that's been built in this culture, bonds forged through shared adversity, they've got to still apply to those guys, even though they're getting to play at a young age. And just really proud of him for understanding that moment and just continue to do that, compete every single day, and just like everybody else in the program has to do.
Okay, next question from Ken Segura.
Hey, Ken.
Congratulations again.
Thanks,
obviously,
bud.
as you mentioned it before, UCF is a really, really strong team.
Yep.
Their record speaks for itself. I'm curious, can you speak just kind of the meaning of this game as far as, ramping up competition, wanting to play two really good teams back to back, and kind of what you're hoping to learn and just the level of this test for you guys this week?
Yeah, and I think it goes back to our administration. There's a lot of things when the new schedule came out. We're going to play the ACC slate and we get one out-of-conference game. And for our administration to recognize that this is a really good opponent and, a really good challenge, a big challenge for our program as we're still in the early phases of our ascendance, to have them on the schedule, understanding what the challenge is and hoping that the culture, the things that we're working towards will be on display on Saturday against a big-time program that's won a ton of games. They've got great players, as I said. They've got great coaches, schemes, all of those things. I think that's a pretty good statement, from our administration. Our guys are excited to play such a good opponent. And just, the personal factor I talked about a little bit earlier. We still have Huey Magoo's Thursdays around here, and that's an old George O'Leary tradition. After our Thursday morning practices, when we were down there, we would have a table laid out of Huey Magoo's chicken tenders, and we've continued that tradition even when we were up at Philadelphia, and now that we're here in Atlanta, we have Huey Magoo's Thursdays, and we have a spread of chicken tenders and fries, and it's a good time. So there's a lot of things that are carried over from our experiences there, and obviously excited for the challenge Saturday against a great opponent and great coaches.
Our final question for Coach Collins comes from Gene Fournette from the Florida Times-Union in Jacksonville.
Hey, Gene.
Hey, Jeff. I wanted to ask you about Jeff from this standpoint. He throws a couple picks in the first half to Asante Samuel. You're moving the football, but you don't get the payoff.
Yep.
you have any reservations at all that he would come back in the second half, 18 years old, and just, not get rattled by the interceptions, but move on and be able to put your team in a position to win?
Yeah, and one of the biggest parts about Jeff is his composure, how calm he stays. He never gets too high. He never gets too low. He's a tremendous competitor, highly intelligent, high character. His family was there before the game, got to see them before and after. Just the things that have been poured into him his entire life were on display. Don't get rattled. Trust in your teammates. Be a great teammate yourself, and continue to just plug along, and just trust in the process, trust in the calls that are coming in, trust in your O-line, trust in your receivers, running backs, tight ends, trust in the defense. And I think that was one of the coolest moments too. David Curry and Wanye and Tariq, even Jaquan Griffin, John Brooks, when we had the turnover down in the red zone going in, they were just, you could see them on the tape, you can see them on the TV, put the ball down, we got your back, we love y'all. So there's some days that the defense is going to have to get the offense out of a bad situation. There's some days that the offense is going to have to get the defense out of some bad situations. And that's how you build a culture, and that's how you build a program. And just as we continue to develop this thing, those kind of examples have to continue to show up more and more and more. And it's genuine, it's real, and those are the things as a coach that make you very proud when you know the team that you're coaching, the players that you're coaching have each other's back. The thing that I always tell the coach, it's my job to love these players. I take that responsibility very seriously. It is my job to love these players. It is their job to love each other and to fight for each other and to work for each other and to play for each other. And I think they did that Saturday night, and it showed up. Now we've just got to continue to build on that. Never let complacency sink in at any time in the development of this program, and keep loving each other and keep developing at a high level every single day.
Coach, we are going to have one more late one from Marty Smith at ESPN on the call on the sidelines this weekend. So, Marty.
Hey, Marty.
Hey, Coach. Man, your passion and enthusiasm are just – I'm so intrigued by it, and you seem to live so freely. It's infectious, man.
Appreciate it.
Forgive me if this is a tired question in any way, but I've never gotten to ask it or hear you discuss how you embrace the whole 404 culture. And why? What was it about that culture or that vibe that you cared so much about? And what's been the impact of embracing it the way you have?
Yep. So Mike Flynn said one more question. That usually means he wants me to wrap it up. Marty, I can go for about 25 minutes on this subject. The guys that are the local reporters, they know, and they've heard it a tons, but I do appreciate it. I don't mind. I'm a product of Atlanta. I'm a product of the 404. I was born at DeKalb Memorial Hospital, which is literally 8 miles east of where we're standing right now. Grew up on Columbia Drive, right on 20 East. Went to high school out in Conyers. I'm a product of Atlanta football. I'm a product of Georgia high school football. I love this city. I love this town, everything that's about it, how diverse it is, the entertainment, restaurants, shows, all the things that make this city special. I absolutely love it. I'm from here. I'm born and raised. And when I talk about it and when I'm passionate about it, it's just because it's genuine. When I talk about being from the ATL, when I talk about being from the 404, it's because I live it, I breathe it, it's genuine. This Georgia Tech job has been my dream job since I was a little guy. Since I was sitting in the North Stands watching the Georgia Tech-Georgia Thanksgiving JV football game, that was part of our tradition. Now I'm the head coach at Georgia Tech. My office is literally sitting in the North Stands looking out on Bobby Dodd Stadium, Grant Field. Every day it's a dream come true. And then you add it with such unbelievable players that are intelligent, They have high character. They work really, really hard. It's just a special place. I've got a bunch of coaches on my staff that I've known throughout the years from every era of Georgia Tech football that are here with me, and they understand what makes this place so special. Then I've got a bunch of other assistants from the state of Georgia that love Atlanta, that love this place, can promote it to recruits, and it's real. Here's the biggest thing about recruits. The second they think you're fake, the second they think you're phony, you've lost. With us, when they come on campus and they see the vibe and they see the positivity and they see how much we genuinely love this place, you can see how we're building this thing, and we're building it the right way. The culture that is in that locker room, coaches make sure they know we love them. We're there for them at every single step of the way. And when recruits come around, we tell recruits, now they can't do it now during a global pandemic, but when recruits could come on campus, we want you to show up when we don't know you're coming. We're not going to stage anything. We don't need to stage anything. You show up any day of the week. Don't even let us know you're coming. It's going to be the same vibe 365 days a year. Because if the second they get here and they're recruits, and the thing that you sell, they're in that locker room, and that doesn't exist, then you've lost that kid too. Because if you're disingenuous, then you can't build trust, you can't build relationships, and without that, you can't develop, and you can't become a really good player, and you can't become a really good team. So all of those interwoven, I think what makes this place special. A bunch of guys that believe in what we're doing, a bunch of coaches that understand our culture, understand our philosophy. We didn't lose any coaches in the offseason because they love coaching here. They love coaching these players, and I get it. The more success that we have, the more chances that our guys are going to have great opportunities, and I support them every single step of the way for the amount of love and passion and effort that they've put into this program, they've put into these kids' lives. And I think the way our guys play, down 10-0 on the road in a hostile environment in the midst of a global pandemic and come out with a dub, that's hard to do. These kids did it. And now the challenge is to make sure we continue to build on the things that we learned from last year, on the things that we learned in the first and second half of Saturday, and continue to build something special. Marty, I've got a vision for this place. I've had a vision for this place since I was a young graduate assistant, 26 years old, for George O'Leary. I know exactly what this place can be. I know exactly what this place should be. I know exactly what this place will be in the college football landscape. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to coach these kids and the recruits. Obviously, I can't talk specifics, but the recruits see the way our guys play. The recruits see the vibe that we have in the city and the vibe that we play with. And that will continue to get better with the work ethic, the toughness, the passion, all of those things rolled into and us playing together at a high level. And then, Marty, hopefully I'll get to talk to you this week because I got another about 47 minutes that I could go on there, brother.